Going. I'm live! Yay! Hello! And again, the frickin' door. Okay, I think the three messages that it shows right now are from earlier with the previous attempt. And let me just quickly explain the previous attempt. So, I needed to do adulting things. That involved... Hello! Rah! That involved, I basically needed to make a phone call. And phone call, then, uh-oh. I think the stream chat might be borked for this. Gosh dang. It's still showing the original stream and not... Anyway, let me see if I can actually, pop this out so I'll still be able to see it. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. Right. I had to do adulting things. That included needing to, yeah, hi Stream Elements. Hello. I wish you would fix how the chat looks right now. Maybe if I just go and delete the other video? I don't know. Right. Let me just, as I figure that, adulting. I had to make important call. Important call, unfortunately, meant that I was dealing with, basically robot calling thing, where it's like, oh, you're calling. Press this to get this. Press this to get this, etc., etc. And I tried 2 days ago, and when I finally got through everything, it then decided to then tell me, oh, well, you see, we maybe don't have any room in our queue for you right now. I was like, oh, great, thanks. So then I tried again the next day, yesterday, and that I called way earlier than I had the first day. I got through all the things, and then it said, okay, well, your wait time to be connected with a actual live human being is 5 flippin' hours. And I was like, oy vey, no wonder I couldn't get in whatever queue they had the day prior, because if I'm calling this early and the wait time is 5 hours, then I was calling with less than 5 hours left in the day. That day. And probably queue could have gotten bigger at that point, so yeah, kind of reasonable. Well, then this morning I got up crack of dawn, called the number because they never ended up calling me back. I'm like, oh great, now I need to go through all this again. Call back, and the first thing after I choose the first option, which is just language, it tells me, hey, you're actually still in our queue. And I'm like, oh, that's nice at least. And I was waiting, and I was waiting, and then I was waiting, and I was waiting, and it's like, okay, it's been about 2 hours. Pokemon Presents was today. I really want to react to that, but do I have the time to react to that? I don't know. And steal its RAM. Unfortunately, I can't. But I'm like, I don't know if I have the time to react to the Pokemon Presents. But should I? Should I not? Should I just miss this one and just watch it on my own time and not have to deal with the whole stream? And finally it's like, oh, whatever, I'll try doing it anyway. And I thought, as I was setting everything up and bringing everything. It's like, you just know that at some point during the stream, they are going to call me. And I'll have to like stop stream or whatever to do that call, because important call and private call, and who knows how long it might take. Fortunately, it didn't take too long. But it was freaking annoying because I had my phone with me the whole time. And it decided to ring in such a way that I never noticed. Even though I know that it's able to buzz enough that it sometimes falls off of where I set it. Usually there's like a small slip there, but whatever. And I'm like, what do you mean missed call? Because that was when I was trying to be like, look, there's some kind of call that I need to do. And then I glance at my phone and it says, missed call, voicemail. I'm like, what? No! Fortunately, the voicemail was basically like, are you there? Please respond. If you're responding, but we can't seem to acknowledge it, press 1. And then it repeated that a number of times before saying, okay, it looks like we've missed you. And as I'm reading through, I'm like, oh no, I can't wait another full day to deal with. And then finally at the bottom it said, if you call us back within an hour, you will be connected with a real person, finally. So I called back, and less than a minute later connected with a person, and then dealt with all of the issues that I needed to call for. So, with that all explained, we can now finally get into the direct. I will again say, it seems like me doing the initial stream and then needing to end that and then do a second stream then meant that the chat is screwed up. It's still sourcing from the original chat, which is kind of weird. Not gonna lie, because at this point I have like completely deleted such a thing. Yeah, that's all that. I don't know how to refresh it. Gosh, do I have to log into Stream Elements? Make it refresh. Yeah. YouTube. It's me. It's me. That's me. Yes, I'm currently live. Is there any flipping chance that I can, like, refresh the overlay I'm currently using right now? Okay. Yippee! Just loading it fixed it. Thank goodness. That was quick. We're back, baby. That being said, because my quick setup, I don't have my second screen to look at chat, so I might glance at you every so often. But yeah, let's finally get into this. Though I will glance on you guys in a moment to make sure that you guys can hear the audio that's gonna play in this video. Did you hear the electricity? I'm sure there's some delay that I have to wait for to get you answering, if you could hear it. It's Pikachu. It's Clefairy. Yay, you can hear it. Thank goodness. Alright, here we go. So, rating pending to T. The original. Well, It's Pokemon noises. I can barely hear myself think a little bit. Wait, I can just turn it down on this end. Wait, can you guys hear me over that? That's the second question. Because if I couldn't hear myself over it, maybe you guys couldn't hear you guys over it. I'll just prematurely turn it down. Just to be safe. Now I'm overthinking if previous ones have had that issue. I'm not living up to what Rendog said we needed to do. Okay, you say that you could hear me over it. So I'll turn it back up a little bit. Still turning it down a little bit just to be safe. Anyway, yay, all the different Pokemon stuff. And going through. Yay, all of the start screens. Wow. And they did have in some other languages. That's nice, at least.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company.
Hi, Ishihara.
Today, February 27th,
yeah, it's Pokemon Day.
This is the date the Pokemon...
I'm sorry. I just gotta pause right here. This image right here is what is the biggest issue with the Pokemon games right now. And you probably... I'm sure you're like, what do you mean? This is just a guy standing next to a Pikachu. The issue with the Pokemon games at this point is the disconnect between all of the pieces of the Pokemon games. Where you'll see Pokemon that they've done all of this extra modeling to, where it's like, oh, when they're going around in the snow, they'll sort of get snow clinging to them and frost particles, or if it's sand, maybe there's sand. Oh, it's this muddy area, they look a bit dirty. And then it's like, oh wow, all this detail went into this. And then you look at something else in the game, and it's like, oh, they only cared about making sure it's like, yes, it will look good as long as you are in this situation, sort of looking at it from this angle. And since they're trying to go open world now, well, that means that unlike in the original games, where it's like, oh, the camera is sort of in this fixed position, except in very specific circumstances. And technically you're moving around, but again, it's always at a specific position compared to your character. So you always know what you're specifically looking at and how to make that look. Now that we're in the fully 3D games, you can completely control the camera, go wherever the heck you want. Now it's like, oh, they put so much detail into specific things, then when they don't put detail into other things, it just creates a big disconnect. So, like, you have a fully real person right here, and this Pikachu that definitely is, like, he's green screened onto this whole thing. And also, this Pikachu's a lower quality model than what they're having in the games right now. But just, it's clear that these two, other than, like, oh, yes, this fake, they don't belong in the same place or universe in reality. In fact, if anything, I'm perfectly fine with him on the green screen background. Just the way this Pikachu is, and the fact that there is not much lighting going on, so a lot of it just feels like a solid yellow form. That's jarring to me. Especially because we have something else on screen to compare it to. And the same thing is happening in the Pokemon games, where you can have these detailed Pokemon, detailed trainer, detailed whatever, and then you run into other things where it's like, oh, it's clear that this texture is just stamped on multiple times, or, oh, over here, you'll see this building, and like, the first time you see it, it's a low poly rendered whatever. And then a second later you get closer and everything's like, oh wait, you need to see a better version of this. Snap! It's now the better version. Not even gradually. And then also ZA, where it's like, oh, okay, the balconies, again, from a distance, those look good. And then when you get close, you see, oh, they're basically just stickers printed on. Which is especially frustrating because there have been some people who have leaked internal stuff and just I know there's at least one screenshot floating around of an early build of ZA that showed they were going to have the balconies were actually going to be there. So, not entirely sure why I took that out. Okay, yes, I got through that little rant. Now we can continue.
Red and Pokemon Green games were
sorry, no, I do need to pause one thing. Look, I grew up with Pokemon. I was freaking 3 years old, maybe 4, one of the ages. And I got a little prize, and it was a little Totodile figurine, and I had no flippin' clue what this guy was. The closest I knew is that I was watching Dragon Tales at the time, and here's this blue reptilian guy with pinky purple extra bits and a light belly. That's freaking Ord from Dragon Tales. And I actually learned about Pokemon and got really into it, and just, it's disappointing to me that the games that were around back then, like, they keep making them, but it's slowly just losing that magic because they're only putting effort into certain places. And I know part of that is because of just how Pokemon is handled through Nintendo, since, again, we're seeing that the upcoming non-Pokemon Game Freak game looks gorgeous. You know that they're doing their best. As far as we can tell so far, we're not having the jarring issues that people are noticing even in trailers for Pokemon. So I'm just hoping for the best. I doubt it because, again, they're sort of put on this schedule with the Pokemon games where it's like, okay, you only have this many people and you have to come out with a big name game basically every year now. That's frustrating. And, of course, I have no clue how accurate it might be, but this is supposed to introduce Generation 10, which, oof. Yeah, we had I know it's been a couple years for... Oh, great. I know it's been a couple years for Gen 9, because extended it with the DLCs and then ZA, but still, I don't know, man. Like, I'd say the best possible thing they could do right now is honestly focus on spin-offs. If they gave extra time to the main generation, and then, especially because now we're at the 30th anniversary, focus on the battling simulator game you want to come out with. Focus, and because, again, because of how the company is formatted in such a way, you can sort of take a couple people from the main team and have them looking over the spin-off things. But I'm sure if you had, like, a year where it's like, or 2, heck, if Gen 10 comes out, anything more is DLC as they work on the big Gen 11. If they do, I wonder if they'll say, okay, we're finally gonna quit at Gen 10. There's no way they do unless things get really bad for them, but I don't know. But from there, just being like, okay, we'll maybe have the DLC for this, and maybe we'll have more DLC than whatever. And then, oh, what's the next game we're going to do? Oh, well, we can have maybe one more Legends game. And then we'll have that battle simulator. And then, are you expecting another mainline series after that? Wrong. Now, though I think technically in some form the Legends games are main series, I forget exactly. And then it's like, okay, now what's next? Boom, we're bringing back Pokemon Ranger. Boom, you've got another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon that's not just a remake. Which I'm sure people would like remakes as well, but it was something new. Boom, more stuff with just DLC for Pokopia, I guess. So I'm not going after Pokopia. I'm sure they'll mention it at some point in this trailer, so we'll discuss it then. Boom, maybe we'll go back to Pokemon Conquest. Which, maybe not, but what if? Then, boom, bring back Pokemon Pinball. I don't know. Just have enough spin-off-y things that people are still getting some Pokemon content, but then you can really work on the next games and make sure they're finally actually coherent for once. Because that's the big thing, I think, is the issue. It's they're not coherent. Like, not as in, like, trying to understand, but, like, coherent as in it all comes together into one coherent form. Okay, enough about my mini rant there. And sorry, I was adjusting to get a slightly better position. Let's actually watch this darn thing.
First released in Japan, marking the beginning of the Pokemon series.
This is just the intro. I'll glance at chat.
In those first two titles,
Nurse Joy Simulator.
151 Pokemon made their appearance.
Yeah.
Now, a total of 1,025 Pokemon have been discovered. And these diverse Pokemon have been part of the stories trainers worldwide have been able to experience. This year marks the Pokemon series' 30th.
I don't know.
A milestone reached because of your support. Thank you, each and every one of you. We hope you will all enjoy seeing how Pokemon continues to evolve.
Okay. Actually evolve, don't devolve.
In today's broadcast,
I'm worried you guys are doing that.
Latest news about Pokemon. Please enjoy the presentation.
Oh, Windows. Sorry, that's the reference to something I doubt many people will know that I'm referencing. Hello, Windows. Okay. Is this about? No. Okay, that's the original Nintendo Game Boy. Red. Yep. That's miniature, I think. No, or maybe that's the actual size. I never actually had a Game Boy or whatever. Oh, wait. I see. It is miniature. Interesting.
I'm Junichi Masuda,
I guess
and I handle
that's
the
something
music and
that
sound
people
effects
could
for the
have
Pokemon
as,
Red
like,
version and Pokemon
merch
Blue
or
version
whatever.
video games. You can now play all 45 songs from the games on the small player inspired by the Game Boy system.
I'm
We took
sure you could
particular
do
care
that
to make the audio sound just like Game Boy,
elsewhere.
so I hope you enjoy listening while swapping out cartridges.
Wait, go back. Not available from Pokemon Center, Germany, Australia, and New Zealand. How dare they? And no immediate price listed. Which I doubt they would put any price like that there, but I don't know.
Hello, Pokemon trainers, and happy Pokemon Day. I'm Chris Brown from the Pokemon Company International, and I'm thrilled to share news about the 2026
because I did
Pokemon World Championships,
do
which
a
will be
slight
taking place
speed up.
alongside our new fan experience, Pokemon XP in San Francisco.
Oh,
the 2026 Pokemon World Championships will once again welcome nearly 3,000 competitors from all over the world. Competitors in the Video Game Championships will battle for the first time.
Sorry, I'm curious.
From
Go
all
back.
over the world. Competitors in the Video Game
Okay. I just watched a giant giant video all about like Pokemon types. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are these the same? No, they're not. So this was showcasing teams, I guess. I do like that little thing that does show off the types. But I just watched a video that was discussing all about different types, which the one person in chat knows what I mean, because that's where I got that screenshot I sent you about the Pokemon types from one of the spin-off games. That it's like, why did they look like that?
Championships will battle for the first time in Pokemon Champions, while their fellow competitors will battle in the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon
Yep.
Each of the final matches of these games will be held at the Chase Center, an arena that's 3 times the size as last year's finals. Years ago, we started on a mission to create the most exciting Pokemon event.
Anyway, my question is if the XP one is supposed to be like a convention that's just Pokemon and not a
where trainers around the world can come together and celebrate
a competition.
As we celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, we invite all of you to the inaugural Pokemon XP event. Fans of all ages can expect fun activities, including interactive exhibits, pin trading, cosplay showcases, unique panels, hands-on workshops, exciting partner collaborations.
Yeah, so basically a Pokemon convention.
The Pokemon Center pop-up store. To celebrate this new experience, today we're giving
mostly. I doubt they'd let anyone like have their own booths there.
Pokemon
whatever.
XP, alongside the highly anticipated World Championships. Whether you're joining us in person in San Francisco or from home on our live stream, we can't wait to see you this August. Thank you.
That's
Pokemon
good,
trainers.
at least. Wasn't sure if they would. Okay, trading card game. It's been a while since I've done it. Oh, stuff about the original cards. Oh. Go back, go back, go back. I know at some point, no, it doesn't look like it's actually... Imagine if they decided, oh hey, by the way, what if we just brought the e-reader back for a moment? Wait, okay, sorry, I do have to go back one last time. I have this exact card. Okay, maybe not this exact card, I'm realizing it's in a different language, but I have this card. It's one of the first Pokemon cards that I got from, like, a generic pack or something. Because I was gifted a big collection of Pokemon cards. But, like, this one is distinct in my mind because yeah. The future awaits. Wacky. Are they multi-types? Who knows? Not us. Oh gosh, that's right, it has been 10 years, hasn't it? That was the one good time in 2016. Everyone connecting with Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go so far will return. And there's a 2-day Pokemon Go tour event starting tomorrow. We also have a promo code to share.
Of course he makes an appearance. He has to haunt me. Yeah.
Here.
Cool. Oh wait, sorry. Available after this presentation ends, that's what it said.
Let your curiosity shine!
Yep.
Pokemon Masters EX!
EX, yep. Cafe Remix. So many guys. I hate that they changed it to first partner Pokemon. Like, starters worked so well. And they've sort of canonized other fan terms, like literally shiny. But first partner Pokemon just does not roll off the tongue. Oh wow. Pokemon Sleep. Oh, Mew! Yeah, Mew hasn't been in the game yet. I do admit I use Pokemon Sleep, if only because it actually tends to get me to go to sleep on time-ish. I'm sure it'll eventually stop working. Oh, and teasing. Latios coming. Fun.
Celebrate Pokemon Day. Zapdos.
I don't care about Unite in the slightest. Electric Volleyball World Tour. Trading Card Game Pocket. Did you know that Digimon is working on their own trading card app game, and it's not going to be like a miniature version of the app of the game? It's going to be the full thing, and it's going to also have its own story mode. Oh. Hey. Speaking of something Pokemon related, I recently went to the library. Well, at the library, there was I was looking for a specific type of book, couldn't find it. Literally the closest thing I could find to what I was looking for was a craft book that was Pokemon themed, just because one of the crafts in there was what I was kind of looking for. And so someone was popping in to say, oh hey, XD. Yeah, popping in to say, hey, I'm hanging out, and I'm grabbing the book to also return it on the way, because it's due today. Anyway, I know about XD. Yay, it's coming, unless they want to say, hey, by the way, actually something extra.
Hello everyone, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokemon Company. I'd like to give you all some additional updates as we share the latest news on our games. First off, we have information regarding the Pokemon Fire Red version and Pokemon Leaf Green version games coming to Nintendo Switch. The Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green games, remakes of the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games in Japan, were released on Game Boy Advance in 2004. And now, X amount of years later, we're putting it back where you can buy each one. I think, I'm trying to remember if you get Fire Red and Leaf Green together or if they're separate. But either way, all of the languages are separate. And also, it's $20 flippin'. Which, I've seen some people argue, it's like, some people are going, well, dude, it's $20. To which someone says, well, the physical versions, if you want to play it legit, those are hundreds of dollars. And it's like, first off, sure, that's how you play it legit. I'm sure you can play it through other means as well. Second, they're not having a physical version. For all we know, this is something that they could say, oh, well, we're not doing it. Because the thing that is a quote-unquote physical version that they are releasing, and of course it's not available everywhere, it doesn't even come with the game. Like, you get a special box that mimics the original boxes, but on the Switch box thing. You get these little stands with orbs of the like the starter trio, and it has this little base that you can put them on, and it glows in
whatever the 3 colors to illuminate the orbs, because it's one of the ones where it's got the little bits inside the glass that light up, whatever. And then the box that they give you with this other stuff, you open it up, there's no game inside. It's just a code so you can download the game. So you don't get a physical version anyway. And on top of that, this is something from the Game Boy Advance, as they show right here. Game Boy Advance games were on the Wii U in their virtual catalog. And unlike the Switch, where it's like, oh, get everything from, like, the Game Boy, and just pay this one amount to get all of them. Well, technically it's a yearly subscription thing, but you know what I mean. And then, on the Wii U, with the Game Boy Advance games, they were like $7 or $8. Not 20.
Today, these games have been made available to play once more as download-exclusive titles on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, download
and Nintendo
exclusive.
Switch 2. We also plan to make these titles compatible with Pokemon Home in the future. This way, you can bring Pokemon obtained in other Pokemon RPG series titles on adventures with you. Or you can send Pokemon to visit Pokemon Champions. We hope you look forward to it. Next, we have some news about Pokemon Champions.
I figured, since you mentioned that it's going to be used at the next competition. Which, by the way, it should be coming out soon if they want it to be ready for the competition, because as far as we can tell, since it's also going to be on the phone, there's probably going to be some in-app purchases or whatever for you to actually train up the Pokemon. And so because of that, it's like, oh, you might have to deal with more to actually set up a team, and it's like, hey, there's these people who have been setting up their teams for ages and ages, and I mean, I know they say it, oh, you can link it, but at the same time, I don't know. I worry. Yep. Actually, let me go back. Screenshots and game footage are from product under development and not final. Products, contents, features, etc. Subjects to change. Software can be played on both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 systems. Some footage includes Pokemon that will be unavailable at the time of the Nintendo Switch version's release. Probably some of the megas. Additional games and systems required for multiplayer mode sold separately. Persistent internet and compatible smart device required for mobile version. Data changes may apply for mobile version. So at the very least, it doesn't mention anything with in-app purchases, but the additional games and system, well, okay, additional games, yes, of course, that's going to be sold separately because they want each of your games. Though, also, just I don't know. And systems required for multiplayer mode, so they are sold separately. But I will say, just the fact that they are saying that additional games are required for multiplayer mode makes me think that, oh, well, again, you will have to bring them in from other games if you want to actually do multiplayer instead of whatever single player they have. So, a little bit concerned there. I don't know how that's gonna go. Okay. So April. I did not process that the first time.
We the chair.
Next up is news about the Mega Dimension DLC for the Pokemon Legends ZA
Oh,
game,
are they
the
expanding
newest
it?
title in the Pokemon series. Please take a look at this video.
Are you going to greatly expand it without asking for even more money? Because then people might actually say, oh, maybe it is kind of worth it. Z versions for the... I will say, I finally looked at... I did not get the DLC. Because I did not hear good things about it. I was already a little thinking the base game was lackluster, and it didn't sound like the DLC was really helping that. Only main reason I got ZA in the first place was that the first games I ever got to actually physically own of Pokemon was Pokemon Y. Yvettal haunts me to this day. We don't need to go into that though. But just haven't decided to buy it. If potentially they're like, oh, we're expanding it further, and it's still going to be the singular DLC, it's not going to be a second one, then maybe. But anyway, because it's like, okay, maybe eventually if I get to this point in the game, maybe I'll consider potentially getting the DLC. But over time I was like, I don't know. And finally, because of something I was working on, I finally was like, okay, I doubt I'll look at this anytime soon. Let me just look at all of the megas they introduced. But I've only, glanced at them once, so if they show up here, I might pause to really process them. Yeah, okay. We knew about the... Gosh, why am I blanking on which one this is? Archibacks, Frigibacks, and Tatsugiri. I do like that at the very least with the Tatsugiri Mega, while it uses all three, the one that you're actually Mega evolving is the one that ends up in the middle. So unlike the other ones where it's like, oh, there's visual differences, like the male-female Pyroar and how they have the same Mega. They sort of made a fusion, and I think also they introduced Mega Meowstic in this, and it's like, oh, the male-female version, well, when it Mega evolves, it's like this half and half split. Yeah, here it is. I think it's basically because, at least with the Tatsugiri model, it's easy enough to just swap them around instead of really needing to make a whole new model, but I don't know. Staraptor. I don't think I knew about Crabominable. Or at least did not process enough to remember that it was a thing. Yep, I knew about these guys. This one feels so weird. Eyeball. Okay. Give us Flygon. Yep. Okay. I'm a touch confused. I could have sworn I knew about this guy. Again, I don't actually have the DLC, so I don't fully know. But, I could have sworn, when I was looking, this was one of the guys listed. Why are they showing it off? He's... Is it oh, well, it's going to be in the Royale for however amount? Is that it?
A new Mega Evolution of Garchomp, Mega Garchomp Z, has been discovered.
Okay, I'm confused again. I thought
this mystery gift will
we already knew about
for the
this.
Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension
Maybe it was
DLC
State of Mind?
after this
I don't
presentation
know.
concludes. After claiming this gift, you'll be able to detect a special hyperspace distortion where you can encounter Mega Garchomp Z. You can obtain a Garchompite
So I feel
Z-Stone
like I
by winning
also
the battle
saw a
against Mega
post
Garchomp Z
where
in the special
someone
pocket of hyperspace.
where someone
Next
was
up,
like,
we have some
"Oh, I
news
can't
about
believe
Pokemon
both of them
Pokopia.
look ugly." I don't know. I'm confused now. Did I dream it up? Okay, now here's Pokopia. Just before we get into whatever the trailer is, I said that I would save it for once we actually got to the Pokopia part of the direct. How talk. Okay. I know when they were introducing some stuff with the Switch 2, they also introduced game key cards and whatever, and there was also like the thing where it's like the digital game key. I forget exactly what it was, but basically, you could go out to the store to buy a game, and inside there would be a fake game. And basically, it would just, if you put it in, it would just take you to the store to download it. And the explanation given for those things, which, by the way, people did not like them, and they even apparently in Japan had a poll about, what do you think about them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you even know about them? And I think the main things were people didn't like them or didn't know about them. And so it's like, it seems like there's enough people who don't know about it that I guess we should explain it. And then in explaining it, it's just like, this feels almost like worse in a way. But anyway, that led to like at least the explanation where it's like, we're only doing that for the games that are like really large, and so it'd be really expensive to try and make the game cards that have enough space for that amount of game. And then they said that Pokopia is going to be only available on those fake cartridges, and it's a small enough game, from what they've said. At least base game is small enough that it can fit on the smallest type of cartridge that exists, or at least, if not smallest, the most commonly used, whichever it is. And it's like, okay, so your explanation about when it would, and also they're like, and the main ones they're doing that for were ones where it's like, these are games that are not unique to the Nintendo Switch. So at least there's some of that, because it's these other companies. Maybe they don't want to shell out for those bigger things, and it's like, well, it seems like you guys don't want to shell out for Pokemon either. It almost like showcases what they do with Pokemon, where it's like, we want to crank out Pokemon stuff because it sells, but we want to use as little money as we can. Fucking the fact that we know that around how much money it took for Pokemon Legends ZA to be made, which I think was around $13,000. Or was it 13 million? I forget. Maybe it's 13. Yeah, probably 13 million. I don't know. And then this year there was the Pokemon Super Bowl ad. It was a minute long. If you lowball, like it's not in a prime time location for the Super Bowl, if you buy a 30-second ad, the range is from like assuming it's million, because I'm forgetting if it's thousand or million, and it feels like it's more likely to be million. But assuming it's millions, 30 seconds, low end is 8 million, high end is like 10 million. So for Pokemon to have a 60-second ad, then potentially, if you're doubling that, that's 16 million to 20 million. And again, ZA apparently had a budget of around 13 million. So the theoretical base price of the ad that they showed was more expensive than what they spent making Legends ZA. Not to mention the fact that they also have the celebrity talents that show up in the ad. There's no way that all of them did it for free. Heck, I'm not even entirely sure that like one of them would do it for free entirely. Because I think part of it is that legally they shouldn't do anything like that entirely for free. Because contracts with stuff related to why am I blanking on it now? It's the thing. It's unions. Doi. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something connected to that, or the contracts through the union, or whatever. Where it's like, hey, look, if you do some of this work for free, then that does not look that it don't matter. I don't know. I'm not sure how to word what I'm thinking right now. Anyway, so that's sort of frustrations with this game. Let's watch. Because I have actually heard people who were playtesting it said that it was good. Which, that's good. I just wish that they'd let you get a physical version. Rhythm. Yep, hi. Stereo Rhythm.
Is that curious-looking stereo a Rotom? Did it get enticed by the music and hop inside? It's really energetic and seems to go by DJ Rotom. What happens if you give it a CD in the game?
You get to choose the music that plays.
It can help liven up the town with a variety of music. Ditto and the others are grooving to the beat too. Let's listen to DJ Rotom's specially selected tracks while I introduce you to the world of Pokemon Pokopia.
I will say, every time I see stuff related to Pokopia, it just makes me want to play more of the fan game that was using like the Gen 2 style of sprites and assets and whatnot. And it's basically like this randomly generated survival worlds area where you have to use the Pokemon to do all these different things. So like you need certain Pokemon that are able to build stuff, and certain Pokemon can fly, and certain Pokemon can swim. Certain Pokemon help you gather items from some of the Pokemon to craft specific things. Different Pokemon to charge electronics. Different Pokemon to like light a room, etc., etc.
Ditto first encounters Professor Tangrowth in a wasteland that was once a town. It seems like Ditto is working alongside other Pokemon to develop the town. Wow, they're sure fired up. Of course, you can't give your all on an empty stomach. It looks like Riolu wants something to eat too. But how do you cook?
Because another thing was that I remembered learning that, because I haven't looked too much into this game, unfortunately, because it hasn't entirely piqued my interest. But it's like, oh, to get certain Pokemon to show up, you need to put down certain items, and like different items near different other items will cause different Pokemon to show up, and you'll have to try all the combinations to try and see all of the Pokemon. And it just makes me think about how in that fan game, well, you had to there were different habitats, and you had to like make sure that the different Pokemon were happy with the habitats they were put in.
Huh?
Nope.
That silhouette.
Read it. Yeah, I do like the little fluff is
A greedent appeared.
manages to
It
hold
sounds
on
like
to
everyone
his
calls it
ladle.
Chef Dente.
Chef Dente.
Chef Dente can teach you how to cook all sorts of dishes.
Shrimp
Each
testing.
Pokemon has different foods they prefer. Some dishes will even power up your moves when you eat.
Okay. On the one hand, I get it. This is a Ditto doing its best to replicate a human, and so it's not accurate. At the same time, seeing this chibi-looking human-y character next to all of the very realistic, accurate to the games Pokemon is jarring again. I wish there had been like a little bit of stylization with the Pokemon, but then they'd have to make all new Pokemon assets for all the Pokemon in here, not just the special ones, so they can't do that.
This will make it even easier to develop the town. Try bringing Pokemon you've befriended on an outing. In multiplayer mode, you can visit other players' towns. You can play with up to 3 other people. First, let's play some hide and seek. I wonder where everyone's hiding. Ah, there you are. There's someone here, too. But where's the last one?
Oh, they're pretending to be.
You can transform into objects, too.
Vogue.
That was a fun game of hide and seek.
You're gonna see YouTubers do prop hunt with that.
By working together, you could even build something this big.
Voxel Ditto.
Together, you can develop a town. Or go on far-off adventures. New encounters may await you as well. Every day, the world gets bigger and bigger. Developing a town, one step at a time.
This just makes me vaguely think that they saw how popular Animal Crossing was, and then somehow they heard word of the one fan game where it's the survival-esque whatever, and they said, we'll just mix the two and make it our own. Anyway, we're late enough, we're probably about to get into Gen 10.
Releases next week on Thursday, March 5th. We hope you enjoy working with Pokemon to develop a town from the ground up.
We'll see if there's like one more thing before they're like, oh, and now.
Today, we cover...
Okay, so this is their main review, so they're obviously going to go into the big thing next. So, I'm going to glance at chat. Oh gosh, it's a top chat. I want live chat. Which I think is the same, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, could have sworn that I might look at the Wayback Machine to look at what's it, Basie? Sorry, I'm yawning. At what Cerebi had, because I'm pretty sure I looked at the list on Cerebi, and I saw that Mega Garchomp Z was listed. Nice to know that you took marketing class that talked about the Super Bowl. Yeah, I remember sharing when I was playing the little survival-esque game. Name. What name? Because you say, love that name. What name did you mean? I don't recall. I had to wake up like ungodly early. I think I woke up like 2 hours before when I normally wake up. Just because of the trying to deal with that call thing. Oh, Doi! That's what you mean for the name. Chef Dente. Never mind. I'm sure there was enough hesitation that you're going to answer in chat, and then you'll see that you get to where it catches up, and then it's like, oh, you already figured it out.
Covered all of the information you see here.
Oh, new missions begin tonight. Did not realize I did not process that part. And I guess maybe I'll see that when I go to bed tonight. Okay. So now let's get into the big news.
We'd like to end our presentation today with one final video for you all. Thank you for tuning in.
Yep. I assume this is going to be the introduction of Gen 10, giving us the names. Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe giving us the name of the region. If they do give us the name of the region, then maybe like a glance at some kind of map, or maybe they'll just tease the map in whatever thing. And then I feel like it's guaranteed that they're going to show the starters. Okay. By the way, I know that ages and ages ago, I think when we were still waiting for even the announcement of Legends CA, I think we were already... what? Huh? Is this Ecritique? No, there's no way. Because Ecritique's the one with the merge. No, wait. Yeah, what? Huh? Why are you showing us fucking Ecritique? Are they actually doing the Legends Johto game? What? I'm sorry. I paused here and then I processed. First off, dogs in love. But then I was like, wait, the dogs in love plus the kimono plus that, and then finally I realized, wait, other towers there. Oh my gosh. Huh? Unless potentially they're, because of the first one, it's like, oh, that was Gen 1, and there was no color because the games didn't have color, and then we're going to flip through and they're going to showcase the other generations real quick, which I would not be entirely surprised. Again, dogs in love. But gosh, I got so distracted from that, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, right. Before they announced Legend CA, and I think a lot of people were still expecting that we were going to get either Gen 2 or Gen 5 related Legends game. Maybe it was after. I don't entirely remember. It might have been from the Terra League, but I think we've known for a while the rumored names, so I guess technically not known, that the next generation was going to be Wind and Waves, and with the first shot showing the stuff blowing in the wind plus the sound of waves. Could be that's true. Or they could decide, it's like, haha, we know that you guys heard that was that, but then we're going to say, no, it isn't. Anyway, show me a Gen 3 thing. Yep. Okay. Because we got Knockbike, we got the Reflections, Bridge, Kecleon, Swablu. That's just the shape of Swablu. Pokeblocks. Gen 4. Okay. Small thing. Gen 5. Gen 6. Gen 7. Gen 8. Gen 9. And Gen 10. Hi, Pikachu. You are very fuzzy. Huh? Wait, sorry, I didn't want to go back. I love, it might just be the way they've got it so the eyes are slightly closed, but just the fact that it looks kind of like eyelashes, but like distinctly this one is eyelashes and wearing a dress and has the heart-shaped tail. It just, sorry, I processed the thing. It feels like almost like, oh my gosh, the trans Pikachu in some way, shape, or form. Which, I don't know why. But also, why are your cheeks pink? Okay, now you're actually gonna showcase, or is that literally all you're giving us? Good. Hello. Okay. I'm already not sure. Because, like, had the initial 2 shots, this shot looks pretty good. But again, there's literally no Pokemon in shot, so of course it can look good. We get to here. It's decent because we're getting the lighting on Tropius's wings, but still feels a little off how you've got so much detail and texture here and here, but other than the lighting, there's not much going on with the Pokemon. And then this here, like, you can so easily see how it's repeating the texture over. And then this just, the fact that it's like, oh, well, this rock is tilted slightly. And like, but it's all sort of part of the same form, but because of how they're going to do the digital or modeling process, the way this has been textured, it just looks like it's sideways compared to everything else, and not in a good way. This shot does look good, not immediately seeing the complete water effect, which they had in Legends Arceus, but then they fixed for Scarlet Violet. Okay, trainers. Okay, this shot here, this is decent, because you've got sort of stylized grass, so nothing too obvious. It feels like with these puddles, this might be a little too realistic, but because of the angle, it's not showing up too much. Rocks, there's little enough, and the palm trees, especially this one, seem, again, stylized enough that it doesn't feel completely out of place that this character is here. Iffy. Okay. Based on the style, I wouldn't be surprised if we're like Polynesian islands, like some people were predicting because of Winds and Waves, and maybe, did they say Polynesia or did they say somewhere else? I could be completely wrong. It's just the way that this is all set up. The disconnect, guys. The disconnect. Because that's the other thing. It's like, okay, I'm saying that, oh, the assets look so realistic or potentially not realistic enough, but then Pokemon, it's sort of like this give and take of how it's realistic. The environment is hyper realistic in like a freeze frame. But then if you're actually getting to look at things, like right here, immediately you can tell these trees are identical. But not every tree is identical. So the fact that you have 2 identical trees right next to each other stands out. Which otherwise probably wouldn't have if, say, it's like, oh, well, we're using the same tree over and over again very clearly, or we're making sure they're all spread out. And then, so it's like, oh, at a glance, they look hyper-realistic. When you start to look into it, it's like, oh, wait, it's not as hyper-realistic as they want it to seem. Meanwhile, then you have the Pokemon, where they're putting all of the actual clear details into there. It's not just a fake realism, or working on realism. But then the thing is, they still limit how realistic it can get. So even though all of the detail is there, when putting it side by side with, like, yes, this Pokemon often gets mistaken as real rocks. And then you put it next to a real rock in this game, and then it's like, it's extremely clear which one is which. I think if they really wanted to make a coherent looking Pokemon game, instead of this ultra realism, what they should do is like design it like the Pokemon anime, honestly. Because since the Pokemon anime is all, for the most part, this 2D animated show that wants to fit the style of the Pokemon, it works. Like, maybe sometimes it's like, oh wait, there is this disconnect here, but it's a consistent enough style that it feels coherent. It feels like it's all supposed to be together. This doesn't look like that, and it hurts a bit. I did like the little pose that Pikachu gave there. Little extra animations. Those guys seem to glow. Oh, here's our starters. Okay. Huh. Shrimp testing. Oh. I know what I'm about to say. I'm sure people are going to be like, but everyone always says that when they see new Pokemon. Is that these guys don't entirely feel like Pokemon. But like, in such a way where usually they have a sort of specific vibe to the starter Pokemon. And these don't entirely feel like they fit. I feel like the one that's most jarring to me is this thing. I think I briefly, before doing the stream, saw something where someone was spoiling the starters, so I kind of knew that the starters were, and I clicked on it, and I processed, wait, I think those are the starters, let me not process that, but the main thing I remember processing was grass starter seemed to be some kind of bird. Actually seeing it. From the back, I think it was all just the one color too. When we had Generation 1, and for the most part, it's like, here, it's a turtle, but it's blue. It's a lizard, but it's red and it has fire at the end of its tail. Bulbasaur was actually pretty unique, so give it that. It feels like this has been designed in almost a Generation 1 simplistic style. But it's almost even too simple for that. And I think also, just because like we have the little sprout thing that is its eyebrows and its beak, which that's actually a lovely detail. But I think also it's the eyes. The eyes don't feel like they fit starter vibe. And in fact, if anything, this entire thing is just making me think, you know, they got really upset at Pal World. So it feels like maybe they're trying to emulate some of the more unique pals from that game. To be like, oh, see, maybe you'll think it's that. Because I'm going to be so real. But with the Pal World Pokemon legal fight, I didn't want either of them to win entirely. Because it was clear that they were ripping some assets from the Pokemon games to reuse for their game. But it was in a sense that it does end up as a sort of transformative work. Where, the hair for this Pokemon, we've used it to make the body of this pal. Or maybe it was the other way around, where they took the body of a Pokemon and made it the hair of a pal. I forget which way. But then also, want Pokemon, or at least Nintendo through Pokemon, to be taken down a couple pegs. But, like, just the other thing is, like, oh yes, Pal World is extremely successful from this company. But then if you delved into some of the other stuff where it was looking like, oh, here's what other thing they're working on that's upcoming. And it basically looked like a Hollow Knight clone that, again, was trying to rip off the style in such a way where it was... It's like, oh, well, we can say it's legally distinct, but it's clear what the intent we're going for is. And just learning about that and then looking at it, it did not win me any confidence with the Pal World team, whose name currently escapes me. And it's like, look, it's one thing when you are doing it based on these larger companies, but going after Team Cherry? Guys, come on. Anyway, I'd say the one that... the fire starter feels like in this weird place. I think if you made its eyes bigger, I'd be more convinced. And then the water starter, its eyes just feel so stern or whatever that it's like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. And like, stern eyes aren't normally what you see with your starter Pokemon. I think the closest we really have to something like this would be Trico, I want to say. Maybe Snivy? But also, heck, those are both grass types. I literally think, for the most part, it's the eyes and also how simplified at least these two guys feel. That's what makes me unsure about them. As it currently stands, I'm between these two. This bird, I'm punting him into the sun. I hate him. He does not belong here. Oh. Oh, it looks like it was... I'll get to that name in a moment. Oh, that's an animation of sorts. So let's see. Or, I don't know. Sprout? Yes, it's got its brows. Sprout. Is it supposed to be some kind of owlet? Moist owlet? I doubt that would be the case, because Rowlet exists. And also, this looks vaguely more chicken-like. What the frick else is Sprout? Sprigatito, a perfect name. Sprig, perfect, and Gatito, because it was a plant cat, but it was a small cat, so that's where the Ito comes from. Sprout? I see that it has brows, and I can't parse out anything else with that name. Pombon. This is a much better name. It's obviously a Pomeranian, so Pom. And then the Bon is like a Pomeranian bonfire. But then also the fact that we have Pom and sort of, it could be like almost a silent, or no, not silent B. Just the first half, including the B, is like if you just removed the lower curve of the letter at the front, and then it could have been bomb. Because explosives, fire. You're going on me. You look like a leopard gecko. So a spotted leopard gecko, well, spotted leopard gecko is redundant. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there for, which is the big thing, and then it kind of works that the spots are then like water droplets. Gecko. Okay, gecko and aqua. I'm just gonna have to assume there's like some extremely like obvious in hindsight with Brout of there being some type of bird that makes me go, oh, the out part was based on it being based on this bird. Which better not be an owl, because again, Rowlet. I'm interested in this cloud. It seems so much darker than the other things. At least these two clouds are obviously moving. It looks like this one is too. This one's further back, but it doesn't look like it's obviously moving. Oh, maybe it is. So that's shifting downwards. I don't know, part of me is like, well, is that some kind of signifier? Because it looks kind of like a dragon. That's him. Luminion! Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry. I do need to... Because I have been saying some stuff. This is perfect to be around the Pokemon. The kelp stuff. Just what they've done for the underwater, which, by the way, the idea of us having dive again, please, if you're gonna change it up, hopefully. But just, I don't know what it is, but the aquatic, again, sort of the rocks, I'm not the biggest fan of how highly textured they are. But the kelp works with the Pokemon. It has this vaguely cartoony look. You can kind of tell, not so much with this one, but definitely with this one, because this one seems a bit weird. Definitely with this one, it looks like it's been mirrored. And that's fine. It feels fitting with these Pokemon that are obviously not real. When you get too real, when you have this stuff that isn't real, you hit the uncanny valley. Winds and waves, yep. Shrimp testing. I think everyone was assuming that, yeah, waves was going to be your blue. But winds is green. Are we trying to say, like, this is the blue, and then this has enough pink that that's the red? Because we've always had, like, a blue-red thing. I guess technically it's sort of like trying to be like, oh, well, you know, originally we had Pokemon red and green, but then one of these should still be red. Or maybe it's just saying, hey, look, there's a little bit of red in each of them, so... Also, this gradiates from this one gradiates from green to sort of like a gray-green. This one actually is blue to this pink color. Like, obviously, red, green, blue. Gold and silver, gold's your red, and silver's your blue. Because silver is sort of that cooler tone, and then yeah, I guess it's less always red, blue, and more like warm tone, cool tone, and like I guess this is vaguely warm tone-ish, but really it does lean into the cool tones. Anyway, ruby and sapphire. Again, that's distinctly red, blue. Diamond and pearl. Diamond is your blue, pearl is your red, so it's pink. Black and white. Initially, it's like, oh, well, how do you get red and blue from that? Except the fact that it's like, oh, Reshiram, the white legendary, it uses fire and like it glows a reddish thing. Like it's official art. Recently, I was watching a video where someone's like, "Why is there pink? Is this an official thing?" I doubt there's. Oh wait, there's actually some of that pink undertone. And of course, Zekrom, where its tail, when it's charging up, glows that blue because of sort of blue electricity. So it's like, see, there's your red and blue. X and Y. X being your blue, Y being your red, because Xerneas and Yubel were colored that way. Then Gen 7, you have Solgaleo, Lunala. Solgaleo is the red. Lunala's the blue, though Solgaleo was leaning into orange, maybe Lunala into purple, but close enough. And then Gen 8, again, wait. Sorry, I was going to skip over Gen 8, even though I said Gen 8. You have Zamazenta and Zacian, which Zacian, Cyan, and Zamazenta, Magenta. That's obviously red and blue. And then Gen 9 with Koraidon and Miraidon. Again, one of them's more purpley, but because Scarlet Violet. But again, the violet gets close enough to blue that you still have your red and your blue. So it just feels so weird that this is sort of almost like kicking the trend in a way. I mean, we'll see. And of course, 2027. Actually, wait. If that's 2027, I assume holiday 2027, what the frick are they gonna do for holiday 2026? Is that gonna be the Pokemon battle thing that I've already forgotten the name of? That's the other thing. This W, the way it is stylized, feels very particular. I would not be surprised if something about how this is shaped reflects the legendary Pokemon for wins. You don't see something as distinctive for waves because it's sort of the same cutout for it, but I'm wondering if the fact that it leans into this pinky purple means that the legendary has some of that pinky purple. And that's it. I didn't let it go all the way to the end, but 43 out of 40, 24, 43 out of 24, 44. Yes, but uh-oh. Reconnect. Oh, gosh. Why'd the internet disconnect for a second there? Oh, yeah. Champions DLC, that's what. Okay, I think things are clear now. I don't know. Alright. What the frick is Brout? The Bean Chick? Oh, yeah, because then there's going to be the website. So I guess. There's some of the official stuff. Because they always have some kind of extra. Here, if I go to here, the official Pokemon.com website, if I go to news, I assume, yep, and then I can click here, copy this link, and go. I have no clue how well you guys can see it, because I know I cut some stuff off for the YouTube page. Anyway, first details about the upcoming games. Here's the thing. Video. The Pokemon.com. Good. Winds and waves. Open worlds explore. Vast ocean. I wonder how many people are gonna bring back the 7.8 out of 10. Okay. Distinctive hats. And distinctive hoverboards? That's what those look like, at least. Hoverboard skateboards. Are we finally getting the skateboards after Gen 2 almost had them? Anyway, I guess technically the backpack colors are... That's interesting. Is sort of a fanny pack here, but don't seem to have that there. But also you have the female character with the clear backpack, and yeah, you can see the backpack there. Huh. Interesting. Brout, the lively but clumsy bean chick Pokemon. That's what I briefly saw. He things up with a fire type by picking Pom Pom, the guileless, friendly puppy Pokemon. I'm sure we have a lot of puppy Pokemon. Puppy Pokemon, not pucky. Water types, the intelligent water gecko Pokemon, Gekwa. Here's their official art. Because it is in the official Pokemon style, this does look a bit more fitting, but it's still not quite there. These two definitely are fitting in the style now. These are going to be in the... I don't know. Mr. Windy Chew and Miss Wavy Chew. Imagine that these are the Pokemon professors for the generation. Brazilian Portuguese will be officially supported as the language players can choose. So, good to hear. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still don't know much. How are we getting Brout from it being the bean chick? Is there like a type of bean? Is there a type of bean that has a name that's connected to it being called Brout? I'm sorry, I was trying to find something and I saw someone's comment about it where it says they look like Littlest Pet Shop figures. And like, I definitely can see that for Gekwa. Not so much the other two. Maybe Pom Pom. Pom Bon. I said Pom Bon. The bomb. I give up. Also, wait. Set these. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, I know you're here somewhere. Yeah, Pom Pom from Cassette Piece. They just took the B off the end and erased half the M. I'm sure that's something that can just happen, but also I would not be surprised if some people get the two mixed up. Okay. Does anyone have any idea why Brout is named the way it is? I have questions about this, but whatever. Yeah, I thought of that joke already, being a bean, but beans type of legume like peas, or at least, or are they? I think they are. Long story for that, but just peas and beans, and so did chickpea. Yeah, I'm not finding anything initially for anyone having any sort of clue on why Brout is named that. Unless maybe Cerebi has some guess yet. Cerebi! What you got for me? Because it wasn't showing up in the initial searches. Oh. Yeah. But that's sigh, unless there's some way to, yeah, I think I can click on that. And yes, it's the whole, no, it's not. I don't know anymore. Ah. Pre-release Pokemon page? Aha. Still no clue. Oh well. I tried to find it out. I still don't know why Brout's named that. Wait. Brow Sprout. I think. That's the best I got. Don't like that it took me that long to get there. Yeah, now I'm seeing you saying bird sprout like bean sprout. Oh well. Yeah, again, it took us long enough to get there that whatever. We looked through all the stuff, we reacted to the stuff. I am going to crash now since I've been up for far too many hours comparatively. And trying to do stream is draining, wind tired. Oh well. So long! Farewell, especially because the place I'm currently in seems to have, like, really wobbly Wi-Fi. Because it dropped completely at one point, and I don't know. And thanks for person for coming, people, because I think I did see that at least one other... at some point we got all the way up to 3 people. It doesn't tell me who those 3 people were, just that at some point it listed 3 viewers. Yay. Goodbye, guys. See you the next... whenever that